the open marriage and the commune thing that you're talking about, I think that would be something which will be attracting more.
Why you are saying so?
Because that is the time period where people are fundamentally clear about what they're looking for. And of course, it can happen in the senior zone also. But still, that age group has very certain demands and challenges. This middle ground, I feel, know exactly what they're looking for and they're ready to go for it. Men or women, maybe men earlier than women, but women also now come to a earning capacity where they have a certain amount of savings and they are ready to invest certain amount in themselves. It happens after a certain age. And also the understanding what I am, what am I looking for, my experiences make me what I am. So I feel that I'm not saying those two other zones won't thrive. Of course, they're going to thrive in itself. But this thing brings a lot of newness and it will attract a lot of people who have that stability. A, financial stability. Second, the emotional stability to understand what I truly want.
Okay, good.
And that's why this zone is exciting. Even if I don't know if it's going to thrive or not, but this zone is the most exciting zone. So I have two parts in me. One is the designer, the artist, and the other one is obviously the psychologist. But when I see something visually very appealing, that designer or the artist in me kind of gets evoked. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, this thing makes so much sense. And also when it's interpreted on your profile, there are these concentric ovalish circles that, are created just like a moorpunk. And I thought, wow, this is so powerful, because then I know exactly by looking at it who I am and whom I'm dealing with. So I thought that profiling system was very beautiful. And as a psychologist also, I thought there were so many elements that we generally are not able to put out there. Like, I want to give you an example where you say nomad. Like, nomad is something that a lot of people will be skeptical about putting, right? You put, I'm bisexual, right? Now, how many dating apps have I seen where they provide you with the inbuilt feature where it's put there that I am a bisexual? None. You can write it, of course, in your profile if you like, but how many apps do give it like a filter? So that is where I thought it was A, visually very exciting. B, it gave a very beautiful, choice, a buffet of what I can become and what I want to present to the world. And C, no one else is offering it. So these are like perfect choices to create my profile. Yeah.
They know this is the limit. If that is the choice, the other cannot be the choice. So there are already certain trade-offs which people should know that yes, they have to work within a certain boundary. And once they feel that all these boundaries are sufficiently representative of different personalities, then it becomes easy for them to make a choice.
Yes. Yeah.
So basically this Kundali is a choice architecture.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the idea of choice architecture was there behind Kundali. So did it really resonate with you in that sense too?
It did. And though I thought there was scope for adding a little more, but the choices, when I went back to it, that little model that you had created, and I thought that I can define myself. And whenever I'm using something, I try to say, what can I bring? Does this define? Like if I choose 5 traits out of it, 5 qualities about myself, Does it define me? And I realized that it does define me. And those are very, very strong features, as you call it, that I possess. And yes, the other person, would be able to connect with me, understanding those choices that I made about me.
Okay, good.
As much as he gives very limited choices, it still is able to define me as a person.
Okay.
I think it's nice. I still have to experience it, like in the real sense. But I was reading a very interesting study, and they said that men tend to swipe right more, women tend to swipe left more. So the rejection that are coming from the women are usually more than the rejection coming from the men.
Let me share the fact. Stats.
Yes.
60 men do 60 right swipe out of 100 swipes.
Okay.
And females do 4 right swipes out of 100 men.
Yes.
Which means 96% of men are literally out of the window.
Yes. And I think those men, or those which are left swiped, irrespective of the gender, should be given that potential.
Yeah.
And this is what this app does. And that is probably the striking feature of this thing. When you have skin in the game, when you have something to lose by left swiping or rejecting somebody on a whim, you think twice.
Yeah. So in that sense, what we are against is relation shopping.
Thank you very much. You start with the bias, and then suddenly when you're reading it, it kind of becomes normal, and you're like, we're talking about something very normal. And I think by the time you reach to the flicks, your mind is already conditioned. It has let go of so many biases because you've read so much that when you arrive to that, you're like, this is doable. So I feel that the way we're going to transition, even in the app, this is how it's going to feel like. Even though it sounds really exciting on the paper and a lot of it is doable, I still feel when human emotions are involved, the exit button is just not a UX UI button that you design. There is a lot of emotions involved when you're exiting a relationship. There is a lot of breakup is always painful. Letting go is always painful. So is that happening mutually? Are two people deciding to separate ways because they've had a good time and now they want to explore further? Then it's going to be a very different dynamic. But having said that, exit is always going to be painful, for people. Overall, I am just concerned that people should understand what they're getting into.
Yeah, that's why we have ensured that even if you press the delete button, the contract will not be deleted with just single press. You have to do it 3 times, and every time it should be with a time gap of 24 hours.
Yes, it's like, I love that idea.